What it do, everyone? Welcome to episode 5 of Keeping Up with the RDF. Sorry, it's been a minute since we posted. Our poor man Johnny here was questionable every day of wanting to do a podcast, but he's definitely feeling a lot better. We can finally get back to it. So excited to be back with Charlie and Johnny doing our thing here. First of all, Charlie brought up a great point. 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. And let's just say this, our trades have been quiet recently, but after that draft, man, that's when I think the real part of dynasty football begins. We've been just doing YOLO trades, expecting like we're going to win these trades, not knowing what the picks are going to be. So we'll see how it goes. But today's episode is going to be a fun segment. We're going to be talking about panic versus patient dynasty players to either still hold on to or you should maybe be a little worried about. This is just off of our thoughts. We didn't, look online and be like, oh, these are players you should panic on. So, don't hate on us if you don't like it, but at the same time, I really don't give a shit. Hate on me. So, without further ado, if you guys want to share anything briefly, if not, man, we can get straight to it.
I'm most excited for my last one on this list. I got some stats to back it up.
See, I'm reverse. I think I'm most excited for my first one.
And oh yeah, each one of us picked 3 players. So there will be a total of 9 that we're going to talk about in this. It's going to be kind of flipped around. It's not going to be like all patient and panic first. So like we're going to be all over the place. But without further ado, I guess we can start. In order here, the first one was Cam Scatterboo, and that was the player that I picked. And I said that you can be patient on him. The reason why is this: the whole entire past few weeks, there's like big speculation that Jeremiah Love wasn't going to go to the Giants, and I called bullshit. I'm like, there's no fucking way that you just went from stats here for Cam Scatterboo. I know he only played 7 games, but in just those 7 games, the man averaged 16 points per game as a rookie in just those first 7 games. You know how many points he had in his first game? He only had 2.9 points. So in just those 6 games that he played, he was extremely dependent as just a rookie. And it sucks because if for some reason he never got hurt and he actually played the whole season, he definitely had top 10 potential in just his rookie season. And they're already saying now that he looks ready to fully be healthy, ready to go for week 1, going to OTAs too. So even though it was a significant injury, luckily it wasn't like a torn ACL, it wasn't Achilles. I think he break his foot or like ankle or something.
Yeah, fibula, something like that. It was something weird.
Fibula. Oh, actually, fibula is actually, it's pretty bad. But at least for me, I don't know if you guys see videos, the connection that Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo have is like they're literally dating. And I was like, just seeing that, I was like, there's no way that 2 rookies that they got last year who are absolute studs, they would automatically want to tank and take Jeremiah Love. No way. I think Jeremiah Love is going to go to the Titans. So I think Cam Scatterboo is definitely someone you should hold on to, even though they have Tyrone Tracy. I did find stats about Tyrone Tracy. He did average, I think from what I grabbed, in like his final 9 games, I want to say, he still averaged 70 yards per game. But in those first 6 games, Cam Scatterboo did have a higher snap percentage. So I think as long as they trust him, he maybe has top 12 RB potential in my sake, but Giants would be fucking stupid to take Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is an amazing fucking running back. We know that. But they could definitely use something else in the draft. But definitely hold on to Cam Scatterboo. And I think the old man has Cam Scatterboo.
Yeah, dude, Cam's a stud, and like I'm a Cam fan just because he's kind of like a psychopath, and I think it's like the old school football just coming out. Like, dude would just bash his head against a wall because why not? The dude's a freak. I hope he comes back healthy. I think you're right to be patient on him. I think it's just a matter of, the Giants front office being the Giants front office. I mean, there's the clip of, their GM asking his son, like, what do you think we should do with this pick? And then obviously, the trade with Saquon and all that stuff. And then Saquon goes and, has a hell of a year with the Eagles and they win the Super Bowl. But it's just like Tyrone Tracy's good. Like, if the Giants got Jeremiah Love, I wouldn't actually be surprised. Do I think it's stupid? For sure. But I wouldn't be that surprised. But right now, you have to be patient on Cam. In 2 weeks, when the draft concludes, we might have a different, response to this. But yeah, for right now, I'm with you. You got to be patient.
Yeah, I agree. I think being patient on him is fine. I think even if the Giants go running back, I don't think they're taking Jeremiah Love at 5. Maybe they go a second or third round running back. That might not surprise me as much, but they still do have Tyrone Tracy. The only thing I'll say is with the new coaching staff, who knows if they want to bring in their own guys or how they feel about Cam. But I think waiting on him right now, um, as far as preseason goes, I mean, I think you at least keep him through preseason and see what happens.
I really wish. I know we did Dynasty, like, when did we start? 2023?
I think 23. Yeah.
23? I, I just can't imagine Dynasty owners who had Tyler Algier in their rookie year who got over 1,000 yards to then find out Bijan was drafted. So that's why, like, the whole Jeremiah Love thing and Cam Scatterboo, it scares me because I'm like, literally, it happens. So, like, who knows? And of course, as Johnny, he has the first pick. Don't really know who you would want Jeremiah Love to be on. Like, is there a team that you would hope like it would just work well for you?
I think Tennessee right now is the best bet between the top teams. It's either Tennessee, Washington, or the Giants, and I think out of all those teams, I would want them to go to Tennessee the most. Dable's there now. Dable was there when Saquon got drafted and had his great rookie year and stuff. They're building a brand new offense in Tennessee. They got a lot of money. It seems like a good fit.
I won't tell for that one. In 2 weeks, we'll find out.
Weeks.
I mean, unless, like I said, I think Jadarian Price might get drafted first. I don't know. Over Jeremiah Love. I don't know. But you know what? We're going to skip to the next one here. I'm going to have Charlie take over and say his man.
Guys, this guy is a Browns fan. I want to be so patient on him. Shador Sanders. Everybody listen. Are the Browns dysfunctional? Absolutely. Did our head coach miss the annual head coach's photo because he was getting a haircut for said photo? Absolutely. That doesn't mean Shador is a bad quarterback. Listen, the guy's a stud. I know he started in 7 games last year and he went 3-4, but my God, 2 of those 3 wins came against the Steelers and the Bengals. And you know what? You beat the division opponents? I'll take that every day of the week. Listen, Shador's a guy who, like, in the Browns locker room as is, unless they obviously draft someone in 2 weeks, you got Deshaun, Shador, Dylan Gabriel. I know it's going to be a competition. I think Shador wins it. I think right now, kind of the rapport that he has with Todd Monken, like, I remember when Todd Monken first got to the facility, Shador graded him, and there's a clip of, like, Todd said to him, I tried to get your ass when I was in Baltimore. And then Shador didn't want to go to Baltimore. He's in Cleveland. So I think Todd Monken already kind of has that bias towards Shador. Listen, Browns offensive line, better than last year. They're going to get someone in the first round. We know that. They should more than likely get a wide receiver as well in the first round. So this offense is going to look better. If Judkins comes back healthy, you have a weapon there. Harold Fannin is one of the better young tight ends in this league. Listen, Shador could be the guy. As a Browns fan, I'm hoping he's the guy. So I'm saying you got to be patient on him, at least for this season, or at least to start the season.
Yeah, I'd say I'm kind of middle ground on it, only because I feel like the QB competition is still open. There's been so many reports, as much as I don't think it's going to happen, there's been so many reports of them giving Watson a fair chance at the starting job, and you're still paying him all that money that's just sitting there. He's just sitting down. So if Shador is starting out bad, if he goes 0-4, maybe they say, fuck it, we'll give Watson a chance just because he's sitting there making all this money, and we'll try to shake it up and see what happens. I do think the Browns are going and getting an offensive tackle and a wide receiver in the first round, so that should obviously help him and his fantasy stock. But I'm not gonna say I'm patient on him, but I'm definitely not panicking yet.
Yeah, man. I fucking love Shadir Sanders. I love him. The thing that pisses me off the most is like people hate on him, I think, because of like just his personality. And I'm like, literally blame every other fucking NFL player because dude, it's fucking football. Like, just let them fucking play. I don't care if you fucking want to celebrate and pull your fucking pants down and moon the whole entire stadium. Who cares? Like, he's showing his little clock celebration, which is fucking sick. But people hate on him. People hate on him. It's just mainly, I know, with Shadir and his father, Dion, they went with Colorado, and then speculation. I remember that they were like, "Oh yeah, Dion's going to be the head coach for the Browns." Like, being quarterback, it's the hardest position. We all know that. To already say after a couple games that you're gonna move on from Shadir, dude, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I hope Shadir can watch our episode because, dude, I fucking love you, and we just need to trust the process that everybody else will have faith in the Browns organization to give you a chance. And it's like Charlie was saying, as long as everyone is healthy on that team and we get the weapons that we need, and also Harold Fannin, Quinshon Junkins, two-star rookies that we got last year already in the backfield. Once we find that wide receiver piece, our defense is set. We already know that. Our defense is so fucking good. But I also agree, gotta be patient on Shadir. I forgot who. Oh no, Andrew released Shadir. Andrew, you were not patient on Shadir, and you released him, man.
The
That's all I
day
have to
that
say, man.
Shador got cut by Andrew, there were 5 or 6 waiver claims for him the next day. I was one of
I was
those
Dude,
one of
waiver
them.
claims, dude. I wanted them so bad.
dude, I did too. I think that was a record. I don't think I've ever seen that many people wanting, and this was in the off season too.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. Man, I'm so excited for the football season. All right, Johnny, take the lead for your
All
man.
right, this is a big one, I think, honestly. Um, this one, I'm not panicking on the player. I'm panicking on the person. It's Puka Nakua. He is only 24 years old. He's obviously one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, playing in one of the best offenses on one of the best teams with one of the best quarterbacks. But dude cannot stay out of trouble. And it's ridiculous. He was
Yep.
what in January he had a charges pressed against him because he got drunk and bit a lady. He's now in rehab.
Yep.
And who knows if it's the alcohol or if he actually has CTE. I mean, he was on like fucking podcast saying all this random bullshit that he was getting in trouble for. He's out there tweeting about refs after a game saying they're terrible. Is he going to have a blow up like AB one day and just disappear and never be heard from again? So, do you trade him now while his value is so high and you can get so much for him? Before he might have this breakdown and just never play again. Plus, Stafford's going to be gone after next year. Supposedly, he's going to retire. Who's the quarterback in LA? So I am not panicking on the player. I think Puka is a really good player, but the person I'm very skeptical on right now.
Yeah. Well, when I saw you put Puka, I'm like, yeah, like I also agree. I mean, once again, literally had a fucking standout just season. Was it last year? Or even the past 2 years. He's
Every
literally
year.
standout stud, top three wide receiver. But yeah, man, I just don't understand, man. Like, you get paid millions of dollars, man. Like, dude, just don't fuck it up. Like, just don't. I mean, the sad here's the sad thing. Like, if let's say this wasn't Puka, let's say it was like some random fourth string wide receiver on an NFL team, they would be released instantly. Instantly. But since it's Puka, he has that big name, I hope what he is going through rehab is gonna help him. But you make a valid point, he just person wise, if it was a CTE, like whatever it is, like, you know, he's been a different person, and like hope for the best for him. But yeah, you make a very good point. Try to trade him while you can. But I think one of you guys already tried to trade for a receiver from Hoffel, and he wanted the first pick. Oh yeah, it was you,
It
Johnny.
was me.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know the value still that you can get for him, but
Well, that's what I'm saying though. His value is so high right now that if you think that there's a chance that he's gonna keep having legal issues, you sell him for 2 first-round picks and a player or whatever, and roll about your day.
yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think his value's any higher than it is now. I think that the risk of it going down so fast is definitely there. Especially like when you look at the QB situation, Stafford, I realistically think it's his last year. There was questions about last year if it was going to be his last year. So I think if Stafford doesn't retire this year, maybe he's got 2 years left with him. Um, Obviously, they'll have a QB competition, try to draft the next young QB for that, playoff now team. But yeah, with the off-field stuff, you don't know what he's gonna look like. Um, I mean, you'd flip him now. Like for all we know, Stafford goes down middle of the year. Puka still has on-field, off-field issues. It's like, what do you do? Like his value is just gonna go down. So I mean, personally, I would trade for him if the price was right. Um, but if you currently have him on your roster, especially in a dynasty league, man, I am panicking.
Absolutely. There's nothing much more I can say about that. That was spot on. All right, we're going on to my second person now, and this one is my favorite, as they already know who it is. So my panic player right here, Ryan. Don't hate me, man. Bucky Irving. All right. Once again, Bucky Irving, straight up stud. He will still for sure be a projected maybe top 8 running back, I would say, for now. The reason why I say that is going back to stats and everything about Bucky. When he was healthy, the first 4 weeks, weeks 1 through 4, he carried the load. He had a 70% snap percentage. But he was hurt. He came back, was able to play from weeks 13 to 18. His snap percentage went down 15, and he only averaged 55 because he was balancing with, I think, Rashid White and Sean Tucker at that point. So, who did the Buccaneers just get in free agency? Kenneth Gainwell. You might think Kenneth Gainwell is not a big running back name. I'm going to tell you guys some of these running backs here who he outperformed. Kenneth Gainwell outperformed last season as being basically a full 50-50 split with Jalen Warren. Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, Quinshon Junkins, Rico Dowdle, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard. Those are just some of the running backs that I saw, with Kenneth Gainwell just being a split carry for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that he was still able, I think he was a 15th best running back, 16th best running back. But once again, Bucky, he is still very high valued. Do we think it was a very big question mark of the pick that he traded away to get Bucky Irving? Maybe. But I'm just saying panic because of the acquisition of Kenneth Gainwell and what he did with the Steelers. I truly think this could be another 50-50 backfield, and he doesn't reach his potential that we all think he's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest reason to hit the panic button is the circumstance for the trade that happened for him. Dude, if Bucky Irving perform, even if if he finishes as RB 16 again or 15 again, whatever it was, and you traded away the number 2 overall pick in this rookie draft for, dude, it's gonna be loud in the league chat. That's just a fact. So I think like you gotta be panicking a little. You gotta hope Bucky's at minimum a top 10 running back. But dude, Kenneth Gainwell, he's a stud. I mean, he really is a stud. You saw him in Pittsburgh last year. He was just kind of a reception merchant, which I think helped his value so much. But knowing that, I mean, the Buccaneers just added that weapon. I mean, they can just check it down to him, and he's gonna get that. You've seen the explosive plays from him last year. So Kenneth Gainwell, I think, really hurts Bucky. But man, when you give up pick 102 for Bucky Irving, and then you see who they signed in Kenneth Gainwell, I think that should cause a little bit of panic for you.
Yeah, I think if you have him, you're not selling him, but I think it's definitely you're panicking a little bit, and I think you could still trade for him if the price is right. But I would say maybe in our league we definitely overpaid. But I think Gainwell being there, it hurts because he's gonna steal all the receiving yards, and he's gonna steal pretty much all the red zone touches. Which last year I don't think Bucky had a carry within the 5 yard line. So there's no benefit to getting any red zone touchdowns because they don't use them. And now with Gainwell being there, they're probably still not going to use him because now you have a guy that can run it and catch it at a high level. And, I would say Bucky might finish top 15, and that's if he's lucky.
Yeah, now I wanted to pull up the stats because I was looking at it earlier about the point of view saying that he didn't get a carry inside the 5 yard line. In just a rushing touchdowns wise, and I believe what did we say, the 9 games I think he played? No, the 10 games that he played, he only got one rushing touchdown. That's it. And the most amount of rushing yards he got in one game was only 85 yards. But guess how many carries he had in those 85 yards though? 26.
I'll say over 20.
Took him 26 carries to do 85 yards. Everything besides that was just like anywhere from like the 50 to 70 yards range. He was very dependent on the reception side. So once again, Kenneth Gainwell, who knows how they're going to split it. They might even do a double RB backfield, honestly. So yeah, Ryan, once again, don't hate me, but when you like going back to like the trades, when you think about it now, like if you try to make trades now, people are going to be like, oh, well, Bucky Irving was traded for pick 102 and something else. So I was like, I want to have that same value now. Like that trade is going to change the perspective of how people want to make trades now in our league. So like, I don't know, but trust the process, man, I guess. All right, Charlie, we're going to go to you now. And I know this is your man on your own team right now. So, and he's a free agent. So take the lead.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. I'm hitting the panic button. Listen, I've probably hit the panic button for the past 2 years on him. It sucks. He's a 32-year-old free agent coming off of a season-ending injury. That right there, why do you have him on your team? Like, I feel like if his name was not Tyreek Hill, and you know what he was at one point, like he's cut off the team. I mean, there was so many points where I was gonna say to the league, "Give me a bag of balls, and you can have Tyreek Hill." But in my head, like I could drop him, sure, but I know he's gonna get picked up quickly just because of the what if. Like, what if Tyreek Hill comes back healthy? What if he signs with the Chiefs again? Because why not? So it's tough. It's when you look when he first got to Miami, when that offense was humming and he was healthy. Granted, that's 3 years ago at this point. He finished as wide receiver 2 in his first 2 seasons in Miami. So it's like, yes, he's 32 now, coming off the injury. If it's still there, sure, maybe. But dude, I'm panicked because like at this point, I haven't seen him on the field, and when he's on the field, he doesn't play good anymore. So it's like my guy, I want to keep you, and I had so many opportunities to trade you that like now I feel like I'm holding myself hostage. So I'm panicking, guys. I'm ready to hit the nuke button.
Yeah, I'd say this is a big panic, honestly, because his whole thing is speed. And what did he do? He broke his leg in like 3 different places, and he's a free agent. So there's no guarantee anybody even wants him. I'm sure he could sign somewhere if he wanted to, but does he even want to come back? Is there even a point for him to come back? Is he even going to be the same player if he comes back? Yeah, I think his trade value is in an absolute low. You might be able to get a 3rd round pick for him, 4th round pick for him if you're lucky. And I think that might be an overpay, honestly. So you're kind of stuck with them, and you're in a weird limbo spot, and it's not a good situation for anybody to be in.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to before I talk about Tyreek Hill with 2 players on my team that I've been wanting to release so badly. But just seeing their name, I'm like, you are a fucking stud at one point. And like hearing Tyreek Hill's name, it's like, you can't release Tyreek Hill. You just can't. Like the 2 guys on my team are Cooper Kupp and Calvin Ridley. I'm like, just hearing their names, I'm like, but what if? Like they may not be their superstar stuff again, but like if I can still have someone on the bench that average maybe 10 points a game or 8 to 10 points a game, then like that's fine. But yeah, for Tyreek Hill, like he's 32 now, right?
Yep.
You know, and I know another player that also I think is 32 is Austin Eckler. It's like same thing. Like, is there going to be a team that's going to really want to take over someone with a significant injury like that? Will Tyreek Hill ever reach the same speed like he did before? Like, I think if he does go to a team, it's like going to be a championship caliber team that he'll sign with. But um, I don't. If I was you, I definitely would not release him. I would definitely hold. And Johnny too saying like you can get a fourth round pick out of it. If anybody wants Cooper Cup or Calvin Ridley for a fourth rounder, let me know too. I don't care. I'll trade Calvin Ridley and Cooper Cup for just one fourth round pick. I'm fully fine with that. But we'll go on and skip on to another wide receiver, and he was one of my receivers in the past. So Johnny, go ahead and say who you want to say.
Yeah, this is a guy that I'm being patient on. It's Brian Thomas. Now, I know he is in a very crowded wide receiver room right now. However, he is only 23 years old. In his first year in the league, he finished as I think he was a top 4 wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a
And there has been talks about him being traded. So, if you're going to trade him away, you might get a late first round pick for him at this point, or you keep him, you wait out a year, maybe not even a year, maybe he gets traded mid season. You see what happens, and he might end up being a wide receiver one on a team that truly needs a wide receiver one, and there's no one there to steal any of his target shares. Or maybe someone in Jacksonville gets hurt, or maybe he just reconnects with Trevor Lawrence. I think there's so much talent upside that it's hard to trade him away. Right now, I'd say he's a mid wide receiver, middle range, probably top 20, but he has the potential to be a top 5 guy. I don't think you can trade away that potential when he's only 23 years old.
Yeah, I'm actually looking back, and Brian Thomas has already been traded. He's been traded 3 times in our league within the 2 years so far. And as someone who also drafted him, I will say this: in his rookie year, he fell to me with I believe it was I think I had the 12th pick in that draft, and he fell all the way to me. And that was the same year you took Keon Coleman, like within I think it was like the 6th to 8th pick area. So at least for me, when I did have Brian Thomas, I originally had him traded away for a big ass package. I'll go ahead and just say this off. And looking at the value of him now, I traded away. It was holy shit. What did I get? Oh, I think this was when I traded Devon A-Chain away, but then I got him back. But at the value, I traded away Devon A-Chain, Brenton Strange, Troy Franklin, and Brian Thomas for Garrett Wilson, Chase Brown, Sam Laporta, Bashale Tootin, and a 2026 second rounder. So if that trade happened today, what's Brian Thomas's value? But I will say this is maybe the one that I'm like so 50-50 on. I'm like panicking or being patient on. The reason why is like Parker Washington, I don't know if you've seen his stats. The dude fucking went absolutely animal ballistic at the end of the season. And even in their playoff game too. And they just got Jacoby Myers as well. But once again, you hear his name, Brian Thomas, you think of his rookie season. He had a sophomore slump. How many other players we can think of that had a sophomore slump? There's going to be one bad year you're going to have. I would definitely lean more that he's going to be more patient than having the panic. But, who knows? I mean, when you have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, you're set for years on end. So it just depends if he's going to get traded or if he's going to stay on that team. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think you have to be patient on Brian Thomas. Like, you just kind of have to. At this point, 23 years old, I think the biggest fear for me is like, Johnny, I remember you mentioned like, okay, like he might get traded. If he gets traded though, like in recent memory, like, okay, George Pickens got traded. He wasn't the number one. Well, you could argue he was the number one in Dallas this past year. I mean, he was a stud this year. But like usually like when teams are making these moves like for these wide receivers, I feel like recently like it's like a fourth round pick and it's the team that wants to win now. Like you even go back to when the Eagles traded for AJ Brown. Like they traded with Tennessee and Eagles said, you know what, we're gonna start winning and now AJ Brown is kind of the 1A 1B situation there. So like it's a tricky limbo. I think you just have to be patient with him just because of how young he is. But man, it's like if he gets traded, I feel like it's a gamble. Like he might go somewhere where he's the wide receiver two, wide receiver one even, and it's like okay, maybe he goes somewhere where he's wide receiver three because like right now in Jacksonville's wide receiver room, like it's a crowded room, man. Like they got a lot of deep weapons.
Yeah, it's yeah, and oh, and they also have Brenton Strange too over there. Like it's there's a lot of weapons over there. So like if you all right, let me ask you guys this: if you guys are the head coach for the Jaguars and you having a two wide receiver set, are you choosing Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas, Parker Washington? Like who would you guys want in the field? Like when it came to like let's say 2 minute warning, you couldn't have all three out. Let's say like who are your top two that you want to take down the field?
Man, I mean Jacoby and
I think I'd
Parker,
have to.
just because like I feel like they were more consistent last year. Like you know what I mean? They're all reliable. It feels like.
I think I disagree. I think I would go probably Parker and Brian Thomas, just 'cause I think Brian Thomas brings more of a threat to the field than any of those other guys, just with athletic ability purely.
Yeah, I know there's a size difference. Like Brian Thomas and Parker, I think have a definitely big size advantage to Jacoby Myers. But I mean, like once again, when we look at it, there's going to be one receiver out of those three who have top 15 potential. There's going to be one of those receivers who are going to get probably top 25 potential, and then there's going to be one of those receivers who's going to probably be like a top 40. So like it's just major boom and bust on who you can trust in that back in the wide receiver area, but we'll see. I don't know. All right, I'm sorry guys. This next one is going to maybe be a little bit longer to talk about. But I think it's very true that we can all agree on this, but I didn't pick a player for this one. We're gonna be panicking on just the Jets in general. Um, the reason why I say that is this, okay? So as we know, throughout the past few years, they've only had two star players on their team. Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall. They haven't had any star quarterback. So every year, I think people are pissing their pants in like regular fantasy football, or whether or not they want to draft a Jets player or not. So I think Johnny, you traded away Brees Hall. Maybe that'll be a good thing this upcoming season. I know it's a franchise tag. Honestly, he could get traded during the middle of the season. So right now, like if the Jets do go after a quarterback, I think they want to go after Ty Simpson. You know, but once again, it's the Jets. Like it's just a matter of major boom bust potential. Like they're always down, they're always losing. So like when I was looking at stats for Brees Hall, like the Jets are always losing, and when you look at his stats, like he doesn't really get many opportunities to run the ball. Like if Brees Hall was on like the Seahawks, let's say, like he would be like a Kenneth Walker for sure, averaging like 80 plus yards. I think I can't even remember if he had multiple games of over 100 rushing yards with the Jets, just because they're always down. Um, and for Garrett Wilson, his first three seasons, I don't know how the fuck I just learned this. He still got over 1,000 yards his first 3 years with the Jets. How the fuck did that happen? I don't fucking know at all. But I will say this. I think with their first pick or their second pick, the Jets are going to take a rookie wide receiver. Let me ask you this question. Can you remember the last time the Jets had a true wide receiver two on their team? Ever?
Oh God.
Corey Davis.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the closest wide receiver two we can think of. But here's the thing. I don't think Tate and Lemon will fall that. But if anything, the Jets are going to probably take Mekhi Lemon or uh, gosh, Tyson, sorry, with that pick. But once again, like when it comes to our draft and dynasty, like for me, for example, because I think I'm either getting Mendoza or Tyson at pick 6. But if he goes to the Jets, is that another player that's just not going to reach your potential? Are they going to rock with Geno Smith? Like, are they going to take Ty Simpson? Maybe Ty Simpson reaches his potential? Like, that's why it's just Jets every single year. There's literally no shape or form that you feel comfortable drafting a Jets player. And you're like, yeah, I actually feel so confident that my player is going to be amazing. But I know I have Garrett Wilson. Have I been trying to trade Garrett Wilson? Yes, I have. But I mean, Garrett Wilson is still Garrett Wilson. He is the only wide receiver threat on that team. Their tight end right now is, I think, Mason Taylor,
Hmm.
or I forgot who it was last year. But literally, I don't think there's any stats on those tight ends, like fantasy value wise. So Garrett Wilson still has very high value. Brees Hall still has very high value. I can talk more about it. I feel like I've already been talking for like 5 minutes about the Jets, but I think it's just always a panic every single year on the Jets because you have no clue how that offense is going to be.
Listen, we're Browns fans, but my God, at least we're not Jets fans because that offense is atrocious. Listen, I think like until they get a quarterback that they can even semi rely on, like Geno is not the answer. I think everyone can agree Geno ain't the guy, which makes me think the Jets, being the Jets, they're going to reach for Ty Simpson in the first round. Would it be stupid and boneheaded? Yes. But for some reason, in the past couple of weeks, all the rumors about Ty being top 10 even at this point has been insane to me.
Dude,
But maybe that comes to fruition and maybe the Jets take him. But it's like until you have a quarterback who's even somewhat of a threat, Brees Hall, they know
yeah.
that they can just shut down the run game and then, hey, double team Garrett Wilson, what are you going to do? There's nothing else that the Jets can do. So I mean, until you get your quarterback of the future, I just think the Jets are going to be the Jets.
Yeah, I was holding on to Brees Hall because I was hoping to God that he was gonna go to a different team. And unfortunately he stayed with the Jets. And the Jets defense is so bad that they always have to throw, and guess what? They don't have a quarterback. So now their offense is so bad that they're always losing games, and no one puts up points. I have seen them trading back up into the first to get Ty Simpson. So who knows what happens there? Maybe Garrett Wilson has a decent year. I don't know that Brees Hall is going to have a good year unless he gets used in the receiving game a lot. I don't think he's going to get a lot of rushing yards. I don't think he's going to be top in rushing yards. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. But I can't say that I'm upset as of right now that I traded him away. I think panicking on Jets offense is about as close as panicking on Browns offense.
Yeah, that's why I was holding on to Braylon Allen for a while, like through the offseason, because I was like, Brees Hall, please get traded. And then this gives me some sort of hope that I just picked up like a waiver wire gem. But once I saw that franchise tag, I'm like, okay. But I truly do think, like, as like the weeks go by in the first NFL seasons, I do think Brees Hall will get traded. I even think, well, no, I think Garrett Wilson is finishing up his rookie contract. Is it 4 years for a rookie, like when they sign their contract?
4 years for first round picks with a fifth year option.
Garrett Wilson was a first round, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's entering his 4th year right now. So once again, like they were also saying to like legit like NFL analysis and like sports sources that they were saying Ty Simpson was a better prospect than Mendoza. And I looked at the stats, I'm like, huh, yeah, Mendoza 41 touchdowns, national champion, Heisman winner. Yeah, yeah, I think so. But Ty Simpson, he's still a good quarterback. So like, but once again, man, thank goodness we are not Jets fans. Like, if the fucking Browns could figure out their offense, we would be a playoff team. We have a top 5 defense. All right, no, this isn't the segment we're talking about. This is about something else. But I love you, Browns, but I'm not gonna get into that. All right, so Charlie, this one is a fucking star player who sadly had a very disappointing season. Go ahead and take it.
I got Justin Jefferson on the panic meter. Now, you might say, wait, how? He's like the best wide receiver in the NFL. Talent wise, dude's a stud. I will never panic on his talent. He's a freak of nature. You get him the ball in open space, my God, he might house it 90 yards. With that being said, the Vikings quarterback room this year, Kyler Murray, 9, aka JJ McCarthy, and Carson Wentz. Listen, Kyler might be the promising hope. I don't think that they're done with JJ. I think because they spent such a high draft pick on JJ, they're gonna give the kid a shot. It just feels like they have to. Last season, Justin Jefferson finished as wide receiver 21. Now you're gonna ask me, Charlie, how many games did he miss last year? 0. He didn't miss a single game. Okay, that happens. You have a down year. How many games did Justin Jefferson have under double-digit fantasy points? 6. A third of the season, Justin Jefferson had single-digit points. That's absurd. Charlie, how many touchdowns did Justin Jefferson have in 17 games? 2. He had 2 touchdowns all season long. Listen, Justin Jefferson, if he had a quarterback that would bring back Kirk Cousins, and he's a freak of like, this is an insane team, an insane offense. It just cannot be done with this QB room, and maybe Kyler, his added value to it, maybe it helps. But dude, you put JJ McCarthy back out there, man, and Justin Jefferson stock for me is just plummeting until they can figure that out.
Yeah, I half agree. I'm 50-50. Sort of like how Becker was on Thomas. I think Kyler Murray is a much better option at QB than JJ McCarthy is. I think he's more willing and able to throw it downfield, and I think he's going to give them a better chance to throw it downfield just because he's more mobile. He can escape the pocket, and he's a veteran, so he kind of understands what to look for a little bit. Now, maybe Arizona ruined him, and he won't be good at all. Very good possibility. But I think Jefferson is still so good that even playing an underperforming QB room, that this would just be a slump year and that he'll bounce back. I don't think he'll finish below wide receiver 12, honestly, with Kyler Murray, as long as they both play full seasons.
It just makes me really sad because if Justin Jefferson literally, let's say like Jamar Chase was on the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, because they were not quarterback, receivers to Joe Burrow. Justin Jefferson would have the same exact stats of what Jamar Chase had if it was last year, 2 years ago when he was like Triple Crown, like how Cooper Kupp had it that one year. Like, it's just so sad. Like, he is your best fucking player on the fucking Vikings. How the fuck do you give him 2 touchdowns? Like, it makes no sense to me how not like if I'm the offensive coordinator, I would rather throw the ball to him 15 times for screen passes and just let him fucking run and do something than literally not using him at all. Like, you're like, I want to look to see, like, I'm not going to check now, like, who are the other receivers ahead of him? Like, for example, I know for a fact a receiver that had more points than him that you would never ever think of, like Michael Wilson from the Cardinals. I know I have him on my team. He finishes like, I think it was wide receiver. He finished as wide receiver 10. Michael Wilson was probably drafted in what round last year? Like, if just regular fantasy, maybe the 10th round or something. Like, how do you let Justin Jefferson? Like, here's the thing with me. Am I panicking on the player aspect? No. But am I panicking where he's at? Yes, 100%. Kyler Murray, once again, I still have trust in him. Will he maybe be a Sam Darnold type of vibe? We don't know that yet. But when you think about Kyler Murray did play with a lot of star receivers, including DeAndre Hopkins. We saw he got the chance to play with Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. So, like, it's also another trusted process. I can't say really if it's a panic or being patient. But he's the best fucking player on the Vikings, man. That's all I have to say. Like, how do you not use him? Like, I don't know, man. But now going on to our final player, and he's a fellow Cleveland legend here. So, Johnny, go for it.
Yeah, maybe this one's a little obvious, but I think it has to be talked about since he just signed a 3-year contract. Travis Kelsey. I don't know how you cannot panic on a guy more than a 36-year-old tight end. He honestly, I was looking and I was surprised when I saw. I think he still finished as tight end 8 last year. But when you watched him play, he did not look at all like the same player that he has been. He has been considering retirement all offseason before he signed a 3-year contract. The way they laid out his contract is most of the money, I'm pretty sure, is up front this year, and then they could cut him free without really having much cap issue. And the Chiefs have been looking to draft a tight end, whether that's Sadiq at 9 or they go wait and draft a tight end later and around. Doesn't really matter. I don't see any way that Travis Kelsey is going to be a top guy again this year. He's just too old and too slow, and it's getting to a point where his body is just not able to keep up with the game of football anymore. And it gets pretty clear to see when you watch him play that even when he finds the holes, he cannot blow out of those holes like he used to.
Yeah, I'll also agree on the panic. Because here's the first thing: when I found out that he's getting married this year, I'm like, he's gonna retire. He's gonna marry Taylor Swift. I'm like, how can you not like end off like your career better than just like marrying Taylor Swift? But at the same time, I remember I was in the basement when I saw the update that he signed a quote unquote 3-year contract. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like 36 years old. So I was like, if for some reason he does stay with the Chiefs, he'll be 39. And I'm like, but as a tight end, how many tight ends can we think of that has played that long at 39 years old? I can't even think. Like Tom Brady retired at what age? 41?
41. How
I
old
think
was Jason Witten? That might be the oldest tight end.
Jason Wint or Tony Gonzalez, maybe? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, but when you think about it, once again, when you think of the name, when you truly think about it too, I was like, he is a good tight end, finish as tight end 8, but like, do you think the Chiefs are maybe doing this because they know they'll make massive amount of more money with the whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey thing? I truly think that. Like, how do you sign someone for 3? Like you said, he was planning on retiring. Like, literally, I heard nothing else but he was gonna probably retire. But then all of a sudden, instead of signing a 1-year contract, you get a 3-year contract. Mm, I think that's questionable. I think it's mainly because of the whole Swifty stuff. Not calling anyone out, I'm not a Swifty, but I mean, if I'm the GM and I see millions of dollars coming in, Taylor Swift come to the games, would I sign Travis Kelsey to that contract? Sure. But from a dynasty standpoint, definitely panic. I mean, you can probably trade him away, even maybe get lucky, get him for a third rounder, maybe, or if you trade a player and something else, maybe a second rounder you could. Um, but yeah, man, that contract was insane because it's still like, what was it? It was like 3 years for. He's still getting like over 10 million with everything
Yeah.
if he reaches his potential. I'm like at 36 and you're averaging a potential 10 million. That's insane. But still love Travis Kelsey representing Cleveland as always.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way his contract is structured to what I understand of it. It's 3 years, but like to Johnny's point, the last two are pretty much void years. So like all the money comes from. I think it's like 3 years, 40 mil. A lot of it's incentive based for the last 2 years. So like, if he did retire after the next one, that's just kind of scrapped and it's a wash. But Becker, I loved your take on like the whole Swifty thing. Like, listen, when the NFL is doing their schedules, the primetime games, they're assuming, hey, we put Chiefs on primetime. It's like, hey, like, you know, we get all of that extra revenue just from, hey, primetime games. Taylor Swift may or may not be there. People are gonna tune in just for that, which is crazy. But really, when it comes down to it, like he's 36, he's got a year left. I see the Chiefs taking Sadiq. He gets a year to learn behind Travis Kelsey. They have their next tight end in the future. I think Mahomes is trending to play week 1. I think. But what if he's not? Or if there's a setback? You're telling me Travis Kelsey's going to come back. Maybe Mahomes misses 3 or 4 games. Like, you trust the 36-year-old tight end to be productive in a dynasty league for you? Like, for me, it's just not there. I know, Johnny, you said he finished as tight end 8 last year somehow. It's insane, but also like that upper echelon of tight ends in fantasy, top 5, and then it's just like a huge drop off. It's like top 5, a pile of shit, and then the other 25, 27, tight ends in the league. So it really is it's panic mode. I think this is it. Probably a happy little retirement tour. Taylor will be at every single game. Chiefs make a lot of money, and they'll ride into the sunset together.
See, when I think about it, like if I was Travis Kelsey and I saw a contract in front of me that showed potential 3 years, 40 million, even if I'm getting the shit kicked out of me and I can't walk anymore, dude, you're still getting over 10 million a year. Like you can't say no to that. But I will say this: I think it's team. Who is it? K-Check. I know if
Yeah,
I'm
Corey's got him.
has Travis Kelsey. His other tight end, I think, is Dalton Schultz, who
Mhm.
has I think he's 29. And when you think about it now, being a tight end premium league, the only negative side is he's never active. He never does anything, even if it's during the regular part of the season. And I'm like, dude, I was like, are you just wasting $50 every season at this point, and you don't want to do anything about it? Like if we're playing for like $10, sure, but like we're playing for $50. Like me, like I know I won last year. I still won $400 last year. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking money. Charlie can use that for his fucking wedding, honeymoon, whatever the fuck. Johnny, you can use that for your girlfriend or whoever. Like that's a lot of money. So like that's why Travis Kelsey, like I think Travis Kelsey, like I'm trying to remember where he was drafted in our dynasty league a few years ago. He was, I think, still a top 4, 5 round pick. But like at that peak, like that was his final peak year, I think. Like after that, like he was never like a tight end one consistently. But I already know for a fact Ryan, he is taking Sadiq still at 103. So like, yeah. And I thought he was gonna maybe change his mind, maybe he'll do something different, but from the text I got yesterday, he's still gonna take Sadiq at 103. That's how you can tell how crazy this is. That tight end's going third overall. So
Yeah, just to add a little bit of that, Travis Kelsey is one of the few players in this league to have never been traded. He was picked 301 in the inaugural draft back in 2023.
he was the first pick in the
I
what?
mean, to be fair, back then he was
Yeah,
consistently tight end 1.
the
Dude,
25th
still
overall
like
pick
I
was
like
Travis
look at
Kelsey.
the other players though after 301. You could have easily gotten a different tight end later on. I just
I
want
got
to look.
Amon around the
The
3rd.
Yeah. Hey, I got Bijan with like I think I had the 10th pick. I love it. That's all I can say. Um, Dude, that was a really fun segment. Actually really, really like that one. But the episode does not end here. 4th and 10 seconds, baby. So, Charlie, once again, if you want to take the lead here first. And we have not talked about anything about what our 10 seconds are going to be. So, we're going to be finding this out right now. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the team name unveiling is coming. You just wait. You wait. April 23rd. It's dropping, so stay tuned.
So, man, dude, I saw
Alright.
because I was going through the comments again today and I was like, ooh, I was like, when the fuck is he releasing it? And I was going to ask you. So, thank goodness. All right. And I know, Johnny, I know you're waiting till.
We'll see what happens. I had some ideas. Depending how some things play out, it might change. Well, we're being creative out here.
Say less, man. Say less.
It'll be a rebrand. It'll be a rebrand. Don't you worry.
I feel like I was a little too early for mine, but I kind of just convened people. I was like, if somebody trades with me now, I will show my team name. Somebody traded with me, so I was like, here's my team name. Bello Limoncello. All right, Johnny. 10 seconds, man. 3, 2, 1, go.
Andrew, I'm begging you here. I have spent 2 weeks. I feel so bad because I keep bothering you, but just give me a yes or no. I need to know what's going on. You said you were cooking something for me, and then you didn't respond. So please, for the love of God, just respond to me.
Oh, Andrew. Hey, all I can say is this: me and Charlie got a trade out of him.
The first
That's
three
all I
team
gotta
ever.
say.
You know how
We
long I
stuck
tried to get
made
Javonte
it.
Williams for? He didn't even give me an offer, dude. He didn't let me offer anything.
Dude,
Well,
I forgot to say that in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, the first 3-team trade ever happened for those who are watching, ever since we started this league. Shout out to Charlie for really being the one to like think of it, and let's just say we worked our magic to make it happen. Also, when you think about it, when I looked at the trade, I traded away Parker Washington for just Michael Wilson. So technically, I didn't really need to be part of the trade, but I got a slightly better receiver out of it.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's do it. So whatever. All right. Now I'll go. 3, 2, 1, go. Michael, once again, I opened up the book. I thought it was a chapter that I ended of trying to make a trade with you. We were very close. You hit me with them, and I waited days, and you rejected it. And once again, I'm closing that chapter and seeing if something happens again in the future. But I'm tired of getting fucking teased. I've done it too much with you, man. Love you so much. You're a great commissioner. That actually was way longer than 10 seconds, so I'm going to shut up now. Gosh. Anywho, thanks for well, do you guys have anything else to say before I end it here?
I'm glad we're back, man. I'm glad we're back.
There's a long
Absolutely.
2-week hiatus.
Glad Johnny is feeling better too. And we'll definitely try to catch up with more episodes. Would love to maybe try to get 3 more done within these next 2 weeks before the draft. If that's possible, of course. And then after the draft, I think the episodes will get more spicy and more interesting, knowing we'll actually have players linked with teams. But thank you so much listening in to episode 5 of Keeping Up with the RDF. Yours truly. You got Becker, Charlie, and Johnny signing out until episode 6. Deuces, everyone.